Number 19 says, which of the following is true regarding the function m of x equals 2x squared plus x minus 6? What we're going to have to do is go through each of these answer choices to figure out which one is going to be the correct or accurate answer. The first one says the zeros are 1.5 and 2. Well, to get zeros, that's basically means that what are the x values when y is 0? So what we're looking at for answer choice A is that if we plug a 0 in for the y, or in this case m of x, we'd have 0 equals 2x squared plus x minus 6. Now, if these are truly zeros, then we should be able to factor this and get those two answers. So that's how I'm going to solve this, is by factoring. Another way you could actually solve this is quadratic formula, and you could also graph it and see if the parabola crosses the x-axis at both of those two values. So let's go ahead and take this. We're going to put it into factor x, and we're going to have to do 2 times negative 6, which is negative 12. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply together to give me negative 12, but have a sum of 1. Those two numbers are going to be 3 and 4. Which one's going to be negative if we need their sum to be positive? It's going to be this one right here. So now what we have is 2x squared. I'm going to go ahead and put it plus 4x, just taking that one there. And then I'm going to take that minus 3x minus 6. We're going to group these because now I have 4 terms, but remember when we group we put an addition sign between them. The GCF here is going to be 2x, so I can pull out a 2x, times 2x times x gives me 2x squared, and then 2x times positive 2 gives me 4x. The GCF here is going to be a negative 3. It's the leading number here, so we have minus 3. And so negative 3 times x gives me negative 3x. And then negative 3 times positive 2 is going to give me negative 6. So you'll notice the insides here match. So we have x plus 2 times 2x minus 3. And so now that is going to equal 0. So this whole time each of these was going to equal 0. Well, we're going to use the zero product property, which says if I can make this thing here equal to 0, then this whole side is going to be equal to 0, because 0 times anything is always going to result in 0. So I'm going to try to get this to equal 0, and I'm also going to figure out what the factor is here if that one was set equal to 0. So using the zero product property, we take each of the parentheses, set them equal to 0, and solve for x. If I subtract 2 from both sides, I get that x is negative 2. If I add 3 to both sides, I get that 2x is going to equal positive 3. And then if I divide both sides by 2, that's going to give me 3 halves, or 1.5. 1.5 matches here, but this is actually says 2, not negative 2. So that answer choice is out. We're looking for what's true. The next one says that the function has a maximum value. Well, maximum value would mean that it's like the top of it. Now, if you think about the graph of this parabola, it's actually going to look just something like this. And I can tell you how I know. If you look in front of x squared, we see that a is 2. If a is a positive number, it's going to make that smiley face, or that parabola is going to be pointing up. If that a was negative, then it's going to make the frowny face, or the parabola is pointing down. Well, here's the catch. This right here is not a maximum. It's a minimum. A maximum, we would have needed the graph to look like this, and then it would have had a maximum. There is no maximum value on this function, so that one's out. The next one says the end behavior of the left arm is represented by. Again, I don't actually have to fully graph this. I can just go by this knowledge right here that says, starting here on this graph, as x goes towards negative infinity, that's what this part means, so as x travels to the left forever, that y is traveling towards negative infinity. Well, as x goes forever to negative infinity, that y is actually traveling towards positive infinity. So this should be a positive number here. That is not the answer. So that must mean that answer choice D is the correct answer, but we need to double check. It says that the function increases on the interval of negative 0.25 to positive infinity. So that's suggesting that right here at this value that this is going to be negative 1/4, okay? And then forever on to the right, it's going to be increasing. That could potentially be true as long as this is negative 1/4. So if you want to double check it, we need to know what the x value of the vertex is. To find the x value of the vertex, we're going to go back to that form, negative b over 2a, because this is in standard form. I know that this is my a, and this number right here, the 1, is going to be my b. So let's plug it in. It's negative the value of b, so negative 1, over 2 times the a. The a is 2, which is negative 1/4. So yeah, at negative 1/4 to forever to the right, it is increasing. That confirms my answer choice D.